So yes, a little bit of retrospective. It's very helpful to know just in terms of pure location. The first main location is the keep itself, where Osgwyn is kind of chewing her fingernails, I think, and wondering just how rational is it? You were told to stay here, but here is starting to look unstable.
Yeah.
And then there's also the three, or rather your two characters who are in close locations, but you are not face to face.
No.
Right now, I was just looking for my map.
But I think you were writing back.
I
The counterfeit minter.
Yeah, I was riding with the steward, and we met with Rodri, who is who was a brewmaster in public and had a stack of rom-coms.
Master is exactly the word, but he brews.
Yeah.
I just wrote down what brewmaster, so I remembered he brews.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the steward of the keep is Geralt.
Yeah, I had that written down.
And so he is there, and well, hold on, let me get my things together.
Yep.
And finally, here I was.
We had a town map.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Now let's go. Let's go back.
Yes.
So we have out here in the swampy area, just in that area. Here is where, okay, right, so Waseda, and then that place, and then that place. And it is here, just past this place, I think, that you are waiting.
Yeah.
Or just before that place, maybe?
Anyway,
Like right there.
on the edge of
Yeah, on the edge of the marshes.
At a small, not a small hamlet, wasn't it?
Right. It was as close as you can get to nowhere, except that there are a few buildings.
Yes, exactly. And one person.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
Exactly.
Still there.
And the post that marks the end of the road.
Yeah, exactly.
And Geralt and Geralt and Arthur would have gone straight to you, except that they decided to cut across.
Yeah.
And so they are a little bit off-road, also somewhat into the marshes. And although not as deeply as Petrain had gone. And they are, so anyway, the two of you are fairly close in location. So you are waiting for Petrain to return.
Yeah.
And you are with Geralt and Rodri. And Rodri is packing up all of this equipment. And they are having some kind of a discussion of why this is necessary. And since your characters and their group is the most kind of mobile and making the most decisions at the moment, therefore I want to start with you, which will set context for you, and then I really have some questions and ideas about Osgwyn's situation.
That's nice.
Yeah, because we need to see what she has to deal with. So Rodri seems to have deliberately shut up and not continuing conversation. Whereas Geralt is quite concerned about being attacked by a flying creature, and so therefore is scanning the skies and urging you to to do the same. He is starting to look a little bit rattled. There's a lot going on for him. He had to he's carrying a lot of currency right now. He's also he's concerned about unrest in the town and that circumstance. He looks at Rodri and sort of seems to be wondering whether he wants to press him on any other kind of information that he might know. He looks at you, kind of shakes his head. What does that kid know, right? And is more restless than he ordinarily is. He's walking up and down and looking a little bit uncertain, which isn't like him. He's usually very much direct and in control. He'll snap sharply. He'll say to Rodri, just bury that. Forgetting he's like got a bigger piece of equipment. He says, bury that. We'll come back for it. Rodri kind of gives him this look like, I don't dig ditches for people. He doesn't say it, but he kind of gives him this look of, who do you think you are? And Geralt, turns to you and says, make sure, get these horses ready. Check their feet, check their hooves, get them ready. We ride out of here, meaning we're going to really ride.
Yes.
To get back. Rodri has not moved. He's sort of wondering whether it's kind of like you can see these two guys kind of shifting a little, wondering, are we going to make an issue of this or not?
I prefer the horses.
Okay. Animal craft at all? I'm not sure you have that.
No, I have the riding is the...
Oh, animal craft is more about breeding and stuff. So, yeah, this is more like riding.
I think we covered it last time.
Yeah. So give me a riding check. And it's marginal failure isn't going to cause trouble because nothing's wrong with the horses.
Critical. So yes,
Critical failure on the other hand.
So just hope for not the critical failure. Marginal failure.
Oh, okay. So anyway, you do a fair job of looking like you do it, but you don't actually accomplish anything, which we'll keep in mind, by the way. Like a critical success would have been helpful, right, to get back, right? So there's nothing good going on with the horses that will help when the time comes, if and when the time comes.
But nothing terrible happened.
Nothing terrible happens now, but we've got kind of a no favors coming, right, in this regard. So anyway, that keeps you a little bit busy. In the meantime, let's see. You're waiting for Petrain.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Exactly.
And considering the position of everybody and where everybody went and things like that, it's your group that's going to perceive a big change. And the big change is the motion of large bodies and the horses shying, spooking a little bit. Considering your failure, one of them may even get free and start nervously kind of stamping and looking uncertain. So it's not so terrified that it will bolt yet, but you don't have the control over that horse. So coming out of the marsh, and we might as well have mists because it's the British Isles are two monstrous creatures. And according to this anyway, They are about 6 meters long if you include their tail. And they weigh 2 English tons. So that would be just under a metric ton. And they, if they stood on their hind legs, they would certainly top 4 meters. And at the moment they're on 4 legs, but their front paws are much more hand-like than one might expect. And so they look, if you will, kind of iguanodon-like. But that's pretty big, right? I mean, that's they're elephantine in size. And they are walking, as you might expect, with a steady but somewhat rolling posture. They're an unappealing muddy brown and dull yellow kind of blotchy colors. So no, they are not brass dragons or emerald dragons or anything like. Sadly, no. Nothing dignified. Common colors are green, brown, and black. So I said yellow, but that's just what I imagined. And they let's see. Ooh, sorry. Okay. So they have these eyes which are very alert, and they don't look like kind of dull-witted. They look piercing and watchful. So 2 of them have lumbered up out of the marshes, and they have a man with them who's walking, and he looks pretty well used in terms of camping and stuff like that. He was wearing some pretty nice clothes, but they are pretty muddy and he's clearly stepped in more than one puddle. But he regardless, he doesn't look upset at all. He looks pretty pleased, right? But they stop because they were not expecting to see anything like you and the people here. And the fellow did have, nicely combed hair and everything, and he's kind of swept it back, but it now looks a little used after a couple of nights in the marshes, and the only thing still elegant about him is the nice trim of his beard. So, now, and he had gone in traveling clothes. He didn't wear finery. It was just pretty well made. Remember the cloak, right? It was pretty well made. Which he's wearing. Nobody here recognizes the cloak, but it is the cloak. Now, Petrain, holds up his hand and he says, I travel in the name of Sir Petrin of Weseda. First thing, establishing, I'm connected. Geralt responds, Sir Geralt, Constable of Weseda Keep. Rodri makes himself look very unimportant. In fact, it's almost supernatural how this guy who was actually ready to take on a knight out of, pride a second ago, somehow looks like the dumbest villager, clot that you ever saw. He just kind of turns into kind of a gormless, me, I just work here, kind of looking guy. And Petrain turns to the 2 draconic beings, and kind of bows his head courteously. And one of them, speaking bizarrely in archaic common, archaic human language, has to have comfort in the company of such as these. Petrain says, "Oh, yes, and perfectly colloquially says, yes, he's from the keep. He's an authority. I'll be safe from here." The dragon says something like, "Marry, fare thee well." So they're speaking like Elizabethan, although time-wise that makes no sense because that comes after. Yeah. But relative to modern speech, it would be like that. So they speak in these kind of theatrical old school ways, and he turns to you guys, kind of straightening himself. And then he thinks for a second and says, "Why are you here? I mean, what? Well, not my business." So ultimately, the group of you will be returning roadwise exactly to where you're coming.
Okay.
There was really, given where they went, there was no way they wouldn't meet them first. So
during this time, I look at him like, what is he doing here? And why does he look like that? Like, why is someone so casually walking out there and looking like he's been in the forest for a week? Like,
And as I recall, your character had no contact with these matters yet.
No.
Or had you?
No,
I'm pretty sure you had. So he's stranger to you.
Yeah. I might have heard of something, but like I've been focusing on my training, so I didn't pay attention too much. Like someone came from somewhere here and did some for some business, then went out. That's all I know.
Right.
Basically.
So what we can see now, so the question is whether you want to have any interactions of any kind. I mean, do you want to interact with any of these people, or do you want to just keep your mouth shut and pretend that you took care of the horses?
I think I keep my mouth shut and pretend to carry the horses.
Okay. In that case, they will. Guess who shows up at the post, right? Are these now 4 people, and the dragons had left, and so the mere dragons they are called, or the Ilmen, and and Geralt will say to Petrain, so this is part of Sir Petrin's maneuverings. And Petrain says, well, yes. I'm just wondering, if you're trying to figure anything out, then it would justify an intrigue roll.
I'm not questioning it. I realize that questions can lead to danger for me.
Okay. All right.
And I'm not really worried about the illegality of things. Just, I'm doing what I was told and then get back to safety.
Okay.
Safety.
As far as I know.
So they call it, yes. That thing they call safety.
As far as I know, back to safety.